Here we go. Yeah, we're still trying to figure out kinks and stuff with that.
Hanging out, just another night of the week. To be more specific, it's a Tuesday Eve. Got some ideas that just might intrigue. You should come on by tonight. We're spilling the beans. Muted that too soon. Sorry.
That's all right.
All right. Good to go, I think. Yep. All right. Get ourselves adjusted here. Adjust the mics as you like. Also, if I know I've got some. Oh, Abel, what's up?
Abel!
Thanks everybody for tuning in. If mics are too hot or too high, or there's any kind of popping, let us know.
Yeah, please.
We're still trying to work some technical things out, but we've got a lot going on this show. Speaking of Abel, taking his place, tough shoes. We have Taylor.
Big shoes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Abel. Thanks for letting me sit in.
Yeah.
Taylor. Yeah, thank you.
Where's the?
Oh, the camera's right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
We do that all the time.
So
too.
yeah.
Talking
We
to
figure
the
we keep him
screen.
close. We miss you too, Abel. Abel's out. He's up in New York. And so but the show must go on. Last week we weren't well, so we took a break. Yeah, and so we have Taylor here. Kaylee, do you want to do a little thing on Taylor? Intro?
Our good friend Taylor runs the Larry's Lounge variety show. That's how we met, and
That's true. Long time ago.
a long time ago now, which is so crazy. That's like at least 6 years ago. No?
Yeah.
You reached out to Kaylee to be a clown? To clown for you?
I don't remember exactly how it happened. I remember the first time I met you, and I was like, "Oh, like Kaylee's bringing somebody around." Like, yeah. When did I meet you?
That was Rylan told you guys, like, you were like, we need a clown for the variety
He's
show.
like, I know
was
somebody.
like, I know a clown. And the first one, I remember I showed up in clown.
Yep.
But I didn't know what to do because I just showed up to
Yeah.
the show and was just hanging out and just like drinking a beer, like in the crowd and stuff.
As a clown.
But I left and I didn't even talk to you because I didn't like really know you then. There was a lot going on.
Yep.
And but I got in for free because they thought it was a part of the show. So,
You were.
Yeah.
You were.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I think we communicated like after that, and you were like, next time, do you want to do more than just drink a beer in the crowd?
Yeah, that's great.
And the rest is history. Yeah.
And a little on it's a variety show. But what do you got going on there?
Big things, current new things. What's our next move? Is what you're saying? Or?
Oh well, what's involved
do?
in the show? Yeah, like big acts and stuff.
I remember like playing open mics, and you'd wait around for hours, and you'd see the same kind of stuff, and you'd see a band for 45 minutes. Am I interrupting you?
No. Let me silence my phone here. Yes. No.
Yeah. So I thought, well, what if you could just switch the channel on that way sooner? And like, instead of seeing 3 songs from a group, like, this is too long. Nobody needs 3 songs from one person. 1 song is enough. And even that, sometimes you're like, oh, next. So the whole premise of the show is like as many different things in 2 hours as you can. Yeah. Because we all have 0 attention span.
Yeah. That's true. And
it gives more opportunity to more people, right?
Yeah, totally. Well, that's the nice thing about an open mic. You can see anybody. Somebody gets up and juggles. Somebody's a clown. Somebody gets up and does music or comedy. But it takes hours and hours and hours, and some of them aren't great. So I thought, well, what if you could stack the deck and curate the best show possible in a short amount of time and give everybody just one number, one chance to hit the crowd, and everybody brings their A game. So I don't think there's anything that's like at the same level of excitement as what we're doing right now, but
not locally. It's
that makes it extremely hard to pull off, and it takes like years off your life, but it's worth it, and it's awesome, and like it's everything.
It is. Yeah. It's and speaking of collaborative, it's for Kaylee and I, at least it's been kind of a monument to kind of achieve. Like we look up to that, like display that performance as one of the most ultimate collaborative things that I've seen. Because I mean, also like it's short term, right? Almost literally. It's so because it's a live show.
It's a one time only.
Yeah, exactly. But it happens often. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it is still long term. There is this collaboration, and it's just and you have artists, that'll just go on for free, and some artists who are of a different level of,
Yeah.
and it shows in what they do.
Well, when we first booked you, it's not like we said, "Here, we're giving you all this money." Like you
Yeah.
kind of have to do it out of a labor of love, and
Oh,
like trust us, this will be fun.
Oh, and it is. I mean,
You get the best people that way, though. It's like, okay,
it's
Yeah.
it's brilliant. It's a lot of fun. But yeah, we always use that as kind of a staple and something to achieve. I couldn't think of anything else. And in fact, it's such like a networking thing. We talk about we go into a whole other show about the wonders of collaboration, but
Well, it's like it creates a whole community too,
Absolutely.
which is
Absolutely.
amazing.
Yeah.
It
And very
does.
hard to do.
yeah,
Yeah,
it is hard to do.
it's almost accidental. And it's like, I don't know, what one other like aspect of life would you get all those types of people together, like a little bit older, a little bit younger, and everything in between, and like poets and comics and
Different
people
levels.
usually at their own shows. It's
Yeah,
all segmented. This time,
absolutely.
like we're gonna have a true melting pot of weirdos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like you're just gonna deal with it.
different levels of skill too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that too. I love like and you
Sometimes
still
being bad is a skill.
well, exactly, but
Yeah.
but you turn out something that's just as wonderful or
Yeah.
better than someone who is even more skilled.
It's probably better.
Yeah, lots of that.
And-
I think I met you before you met me. First time I met you, and this is like the collaboration. Abel, speaking of,
was right there. I'm looking at his
this
name right
this
there.
comes full circle. I met him when you were scouting him for one of your Larrys.
That's right. Yeah.
And you'd come up to us at the parlor, and you said, "I hear." You said it was great because I remember thinking, "This guy's a pro," because you said, "I hear there's a celebrity in our midst," and you came up and said that to Abel and I had actually just put some music out online.
And you thought, is he talking about?
I was like, and I kind of like looked where I was like, oh gee, I was like, got out fast, Reverb Nation, you're doing really well.
Oh, yeah.
And then and then I thought about it, and I said, oh, it probably is for Abel. I was Abel's videographer at that time, and it was for him.
He's doing pretty good if he has a videographer.
Oh yeah,
Success.
Yeah, he's doing all right. And then just a few years later, I'd met you. We'd met like more formally, and
I remember meeting you at the
casually.
parlor, I think, and you introduced me to like, hey, this is Connor.
Yes, yeah, that was I think maybe the second time you'd done some clowning there. I think that was the dildo. Was that the dildo juggling?
I've been watching this podcast. And like the dildos get brought up every time.
It's like such like
dildo minute.
It was one of the first acts. Kaylee had to, or Sally had a banjo piece, right? You guys had her on a banjo and the juggling.
Yeah.
And it was such a fun thing. But yeah, it's a really fun show.
It's fun because like there's enough of us weirdos that do it, and like you guys are doing it, and you brought friends, and but it's not over planned too, and I think that's kind of some of the fun. Like I meet these weirdos that night most of the time. Like I know you guys, but half the acts are like, yeah, you do this thing and you'll come and do it. Okay, show up at this time, and I hope they show up.
I was gonna say you must be nervous to
kind of, but you book extra acts instead. So if like somebody bails, like, all right, Connor's gonna do an extra thing, or but it's like you can only plan it so much, and then it's like kids on the playground, like what's going to happen here? Like someone's going to do a thing and no one knows what's coming, and
or even things that were like happy accidents that were like mess ups, like with the Elvis's little sister and like the music thing, like they're wrong, and then she kept going like during the break, and I thought you guys planned that, and I
felt
was
so
like,
bad about that.
That was amazing though. Like, and I don't think she minded either because she was still having a ball, Like
we booked Elvis impersonator, and we didn't have her track, so it was like, up next we got Elvis's little sister, and this older woman gets up there and she goes to sing, and like I'm supposed to hit play on Blue Christmas.
Oh, right.
Blue, and she's waiting, and there's nothing, and she starts singing it by herself, and it's not going well, and then she starts singing a different song, and I'm like biting my tongue and like, I'm sorry, you gotta go.
Yeah. And that was really
But the audience doesn't know. The audience thinks that's a bit too. Everybody bought it.
So to them, those 2 minutes go by so much quicker than your 2 minutes from your perspective, or 3 minutes.
I couldn't have planned that as good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I felt terrible for her because she was like, you're fucking me up here. Like, why don't I have a track?
Yeah.
But she had heart too, though. She just kept going with
all
it.
Heart.
You know?
Well, that's the best part is
that's why she needs a track.
Yeah.
She's all heart.
Yeah. Well, that's where I fall in love with the show too. Is I get to be an audience member. I'm kind of the unofficial videographer for it. You know?
Are, yeah.
And so so I get a chance to see the behind the scenes because I'm also helping set up. I also assist with some of the AV setup stuff, which is really cool. Because you
have this. You're basically doing this on our show,
more or less. But I mean the multimedia too. So it's collaborative, it's multimedia, and then I can sit down in the audience with the camera and watch the show from there. And I'm biting my tongue. I sometimes wish I could like just separate myself completely and forget all of that setup. But at the same time,
surprised
from that view, it's like it's amazing. Yeah. It's so fun, and it's just it's an honor to be even a part of in that way. Yeah, and I was for the first time a performer with it goes full circle that networking. Another occupant of ours, Joe.
Yeah.
That rehearses the music for the show here and then goes and it's very incestuous, but that's good.
Yeah, it's the best kind.
Abel loves some Larry's.
Oh yeah, it's really wonderful.
Abel, come perform at Larry's.
Yeah,
that should be a no-brainer.
Absolutely, that would be wonderful.
You guys can take a break, but later we'll come.
You know, and I wish
wait outside.
Oh yeah, I can listen through. You know, open a window. And one thing that I love is I wish we had a clip of it, but the jingle.
The Larry's jingle.
The Larry's jingle.
Cool.
How far back is that? Like as old as the show?
I wrote that song when I went to a friend's wedding in Newport, and there was a girl there that I dated, and I'd sort of like let her go because I was still hung up on an ex, and I saw her there, and I was like, man, what did I do? And she was there with a different guy, so I wrote this song like you take me back to the start. You put a spark back in my lonely heart. It was like a love song.
Yeah.
And I was just playing that, and then I just stopped playing it, and I just started putting variety show words to it. So it was a song about this girl.
There's some pathos to that song. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and I kind of just am so sick of singing it now for Larry's. If anything, because it's like, no, it probably was this other song. But it's just harder to sing. Like it's a little bit higher, and my voice is just tired all the time. So
yeah.
It was easier when I'd have someone singing it with me on stage, or that's why I'd have Rylan do it or Liz do it. Or like I always want, or Santa Claus sang it one time. I'd rather somebody else sing it. I'll play it.
Right.
I just am sick of singing it. It just hurts to sing.
Yeah.
He's in. Abel's in. All right. Abel, you come sing it.
Yeah.
Come sing the theme song.
That'd be great.
It feels a little self-indulgent to do anything that's like, oh, look at me, because it's already a show I'm curating. So I'm up there doing the theme song. It's like, no, forget this. Have somebody else come up and sing it. I'm up here enough kind of thing.
Right.
And I already get to sort of pick like what gets on stage in some way. So when I get it's like a solo thing, it's like, nah, I don't want this. I don't want it. I don't need it. Like have somebody else do it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. You're kind of, I mean, because outside of that, there's all the admin stuff, which you have help from other people with, but there's you and Nick are who's the host. You're kind of the like directors,
and Kevin.
And Kevin, of course. Right. Yeah.
It's like a little bit of like the three branches of government. Like there's like three of us who run it, so it's nice because I don't have to make all the decisions, and if two of us agree and the other one doesn't, it's like, I'll still do it.
Yeah.
But that's the collaboration part. To put on collaborative art, is that in the title? Collaborative.
Yeah.
I can't see.
Oh yeah, I think that's the title. Okay. And we can, it's
you can put that there at the bottom right now, like collaborative.
Cozy atmosphere.
Yeah. you have to have people who can do like the businessy kind of stuff, the emails and the calls and that and the money and booking the place, or else the art doesn't really happen. I mean, you can just do it on your own, but to put it on in public, you have to collaborate with like business side, and that kind of sucks.
So it's nice to have people that
It's nice to have people to do it with you.
like, yeah,
like even you, I'm like, can you get the balloons, or can you get this? Can you bring the thing?
Yeah.
And like to be able to delegate. You can't do a show like this alone.
Right.
no.
Right.
It's maddening to do it with other people, and it's only possible to do it with other people.
Right.
So it's like
That's great.
there's like a breathing push and pull. For better and worse. Some things get worse because there's too many people in the kitchen or whatever. Some things are better.
Right. Right.
Do you think because you played in bands and stuff for a long time too, you don't mind kind of being like more in the background with it?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, sure. And it's like, I don't know. I think it's nice to know your role and like what you're good at. And like, all right, no one's coming here to hear my original music. I'm going to play a couple covers or something in between. And then it's like, give it to someone else that's their thing. Like a true artist. Like, I really do this well, or draw well, or dance well. Like, okay, you're the spotlight. I can be a cog. Like, and you guys are kind of cogs. I think we're all like sort of on this same level as far as that. We're just cast members, sort of.
Yeah.
Like have somebody else. Kermit's going to get up and do a fucking solo, or Miss Piggy's going to get up and do a thing. And like these big acts are going to get up.
Yeah. Leave the variables to the acts. And try to sew up all the exactly.
I'm not doing anything really different other than like I'm sort of ringleader of it. That's my thing. I can try and get all these people together and then like do your thing.
Yep.
Like I assemble the cast.
That's great.
Somebody has to do it.
Yeah.
And then other people can take the baton and run.
Oh gosh, yeah.
You end up meeting, like the way I met you, like you meet all these tangential people and like, oh, this person knows this person, and this person plays guitar here, and now he's in the show, and then it like multiplies. And like, well, I know a fire breather, or I know this, I know a juggler, I know,
yeah.
Crazy.
That's huge. It is nice. It is.
Nobody else dresses like a clown.
There's many more clowns out there than I thought.
Yeah, but not cool people that would like come and be part of things and like have a place like this. And
closet clowns.
Closet clowns.
There's a lot of closet clowns out there, I think. Yeah, I'm not a closet clown, more of a closet dancer.
Yeah.
I tend
to dance a lot.
I know, but like not out in public or anything. Yeah, ever.
That's true.
Never.
Let's see it.
Yeah, one of these days. I tell you though, I was listening to some MIA the other night or the other day, and I was moving. I think it's kind of like one time someone filmed me dancing. You never quite know how you look or sound until you listen back or watch back. And I looked like a giraffe going into the dance floor because I was like taller, and I never really, I don't know.
Did it make you feel good? Like I'm a tall guy, or
at the time I thought I was just like a god, like here we are dancing. But when I looked back on it, the video quality wasn't great. I was sweaty and I didn't look as nice as I remembered myself looking, thinking I looked. And yeah, it looked, and I was lanky. I was the tallest person there. And it looked like a giraffe kind of like running towards water. It hasn't been to water in a while. I don't know. It looked something like that. There was a struggle, but it felt graceful at the time. Anyways, I'm digressing. Well, let's see. John Abel wrote, "Does Larry's have a curtain hook?"
Like we can pull an act off. We should. We don't have a curtain, but that would be awesome to have a curtain, and then once in a while just close it on somebody.
Is that
the
what he
German
means?
club has a curtain? We might go there. I don't know. I think like like pull the person off stage if they're doing bad.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like the big Noah,
a big cane.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be great.
I think that'd be kind of Nick's job of like when he decides like, no, this is going on too long. Like he's saving the show. He's advocating for like, you people don't deserve this. Get this act out of here.
Sometimes the audience, that's why I like what I like about it too.
That.
They'll do that for you. They'll say, this is they'll just
that would
let
be great
them have
if the audience was more demanding of an act and they would just start booing, and that was the audience is like, no, you gotta go,
right?
Like the Apollo shows or something, like where the people would just rag on the comic to the point where they leave.
You could do it to
that'd be a nice vote from the audience to like, we have a say. We paid for a ticket, get off next. There's good acts in the wings. You could do it to when an act is doing really good and everyone is loving it, obviously. This is too good. Get him out of here. Get Sally up there. Get this bozo off the stage, showing off. Abel says we can do it for everybody. Yeah. Well, so for the comics, we started instituting a thing that they do at comic shows, which I only learned because we've had enough comedians now, but they have a flashlight. And when the comic, they just show so the comic can see it at like the 3-minute mark or the 4-minute mark. And that means wrap it up. Oh, okay. Yep. And it worked for every comic, kept it to what we wanted. We need to do that with every act, which is kind of hard because if you have a song, you can end the song early, or
like a certain dance number,
or a poem.
It can start to creep just before the end. The cane's on its way in. Yeah, that's good. I mean, well, one thing I like is that it works. It appears to look so smooth, like timing wise and everything. Knowing there's kind of a crunch, and it's very little room for sway. It seems. So that seems appropriate. I really like the idea though of someone getting the hook. I don't know. It's cruel. That's tough. Getting like an old fashioned hook off the stage. I haven't seen it since like a Chaplin movie,
right.
It's like, I forgot about it. But that would be all right. You could have a drop stage. That'd be
a trap door.
Yeah, trap door.
Just drop people.
Yeah, God.
But there's a trampoline, and then they just bounce.
I mean, that'd be excellent.
Like Cirque du Soleil.
The other act is on, and then the person that got dropped is just.
I'm just thinking of the broken bones that could come from all of that.
Do you remember we booked? I booked, and I thought it was going to work better than it did. We had 2 people get up and get announced at the same time and play 2 different songs at the same time.
Oh yeah.
But the play was on like they didn't know it kind of thing, or I don't know, just avant-garde. And I thought one person playing one song and the other person just not even playing, like ignoring them, totally setting up and doing their thing as the event started. But I think it was just too weird.
Yeah, I don't think I was there for that.
Yeah, you're good.
I might have missed it. Yeah.
See, it had no impact on you and it was lost, but that's probably
that's the best part.
That's the best part of the variety show. It's like it's like late night viewing on a TV, and you're like next. And once in a while you stumble upon greatness and then you find something else good.
Yeah. And you remember the acts that you like. Yeah. And if an act really bombed, you remember that too. And that's fun too, is kind of seeing,
because that's the worst
whether
one.
It's a bomb or whether it's awkward, which, I mean, that's one of the most fun parts too of the show, is because it's interactive with the audience and so close, especially at the parlor. Do you think that helps with it too, is having the audience because it's sardines in there?
Yeah.
Totally. That integration of the audience.
Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
Oh, definitely.
It has to. You've done a few different places now.
Yeah, you can feel the tension when it gets awkward, especially in like the summer shows, and it's like hot.
It's really sweaty.
Everybody's sweaty already.
Yep.
Like they have
like
even less patience, kind of. Even though they're there and they're having fun, they're still like kind of more like, if something like they're uncomfortable with something. I feel like those are the ones that like got like rowdier.
Oh my God, yeah.
To a degree.
And there's one tiny bathroom or two small bathrooms that everyone's sharing. So you're in the bathroom with the drag queen, you're in the bathroom with the magician, you're in the bathroom with the clown.
Yep.
And there's 2 tiny stalls. Like, I like that. It's almost like going to see a movie, and when you are at the concession stand, like the actors right there.
Yeah.
They're all there. It's like it's a living production. It's theater in a way. But we do it at a rock club for like a rock show audience. Kind of.
Right.
Or like a nightclub audience.
Yeah.
For a bar crowd. It's theater for a bar crowd.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds so like pretentious, but I think that's sort of it.
No, that's a good way to sum it up.
Because we make everyone sit down. There's acts, there's poets, there's musicians, there's like there's actual art going on. It's not just somebody doing like top 40 covers or something, or somebody doing a rock show. It is like there's some depth.
Yeah.
There's sadness.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's fear.
And you don't get that if we're going to see your friend's band. It's 45 minutes of one band, and you're like, okay. Even if they're great, you're like, okay, I need a break. 45 minutes of one type of music or one type of thing.
Yeah.
And it seems like the kind of thing that's always leaves people wanting more too, because everything is so tight and each act is so short.
Yeah.
It's like, holy shit, like it's intermission already. What the heck was going on there? And then quickly it's like, get back to your seat, get back, you're gonna miss it, and then it goes by so quick that it's like as soon as it's over, people are like, when's the next one? Like
it's unsustainable or to keep it going like that. Like that's why you can only do it every so often, and like it can only be so long because it's like they're not it's nonstop. You almost can't burn that bright all the time. You couldn't put on that show every week or every month.
No.
It wouldn't have the same like punch.
It doesn't have the same punch. It's just so much, like so many high moments, but it's like you set that bar kind of high. It's hard to like it's daunting to keep doing it because it's just a lot of work.
And also I think maybe it going from the last Larry's was amazing.
Yeah.
Like they're all fun.
Right.
You do that. So
if you do a few in a row that aren't fun, that you're like, all right, let's stop.
Well, there's that exactly. But you might also forget in that amount of time, like you just remember it as being a good time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was Larry's. So, it's again less chance for less variables. And Abel wrote, the key is to play less than you're supposed to, so people leave wanting more.
Yes.
That's how you sell a record after. Yeah.
Isn't that like life? Like just anything, like just don't oversell yourself, or don't like leave people wanting more, and like don't overstay your welcome. There's a million sayings like that, right?
Yeah, there really are. I think it's perfect. And
I'm gonna leave. I've already overstayed. I've said too much.
Yeah.
I probably talked the whole time.
Oh no.
My mic's off the whole time. I can't tell if we got no feedback here.
Well, I think no feedback is good feedback.
Okay.
The fact that folks aren't saying
anything.
Yeah. Well, there was the Halloween one. Abel had a cool echo.
He did have a cool echo.
For and I was nervous when we wrapped up.
It went away.
I figured out I had like an effects, but I was nervous that it was completely inaudible, like just like a terrible echo.
No, it sounded cool. You could like have all three of you with the echo because of Halloween episode.
Yeah.
What if one week you pitch everybody's voice up like an octave?
I think
completely normal podcast, but everyone's hearing like, well, yeah, I think I don't know.
That'd be all right. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be all right.
Well, I see. We'll put one person's mic super low.
We should mess with that. That's good. Well, yeah, we're starting to get a little more interactive with different things. I like the switcher. We were talking outside of different ideas, and when we first started, it was, how do we get this? How do we get this? There's so many things you want to put into a show, but like kind of like the variety show, it's you need the time to set it up.
Yeah, you guys are putting on a show every week here with this thing and this and the other camera and the chat.
Yeah,
it's a lot of moving parts.
There's a setup to it, but it's also the more you do it happily, unlike the variety show, maybe it just becomes second nature. But there are lots of variables for you when you're setting that up. Here, it's a mic went out or something. Speaking of, how are we doing for time? Just curious.
6 days we've been going.
27.
Oh, that's great. That's really good.
Who came up with spilling the beans?
That was Abel.
And he said, I want to do a podcast. I'll call it Spilling the Beans. You guys do it with me, or it was all evolved kind of?
Yeah, I think it could. Yeah, because we were just talking about because we always talk about different like fun ideas that we have for things that we don't necessarily like have time to like work on. Like you guys had a couple like comic ideas and stuff like that, and I think we were just talking about like, it'd be fun to just do like a podcast about like that, where we get into like the ideas, and then also Abel really kind of like the idea too of like people can take these ideas and run with them.
Right.
Like, we don't care.
Right. We don't have the time.
Like,
also,
we don't own
He's
it.
the ultimate curator. He's like, take all my ideas out in the world and like, that's
like,
great.
Utilize it,
and maybe it comes back.
Johnny Appleseed of art seeds.
Yeah, yeah,
wow.
Definitely.
Johnny Art seed.
Johnny Abel seed.
Abel,
which is good because I call him John accidentally all the time. So Johnny Abel seed. I actually went through this whole thing.
I do bite
him
my
Abel
tongue at home, or I cringe a little when you do that.
When I say John Abel. Yeah, I know. I'd feel worse. I'm really trying.
That's all right.
I'm really trying.
Right?
Yeah, you're getting way better.
Yeah, Abel said Kaylee and him. And when they pitched it to me, that's what they said. We don't have time for these ideas. So it'd be awesome also if you see that any of them come back.
Yeah.
So or it might also just be motivation for us to start working on the ideas and then revisit an old idea in another show,
If you say it out loud, it becomes reality too. And like, well, we got to do this.
Yeah.
It manifests. It manifests. Yeah, just putting it out, and we've at least at the
yeah, there you go.
And then made Connor be the host.
Yeah, Connor does have the host chair. Abel, I feel like you have the I don't know. You're like the special guest, or like you. I don't know. I feel like you take the lead a lot, but in a great way. Like I'm always kind of following. Like, yeah, where's Abel going with this? Like, okay, I'm digging this.
Yeah, Abel's really great at directing.
You come in with a lot. He comes in with a lot of stuff. Yeah,
lot to offer.
He's a good director.
Lot to offer. Yeah. But no, and
does he tell you what to ask him behind the scenes? Like,
oh, he's got a whole script right now.
yeah.
Abel's got a whole script.
Show the picture of me.
Yeah, he's a real cracks the whip. But he's blushing. Yeah. But speaking of returning to ideas and stuff,
the Pog idea. I love the Pog.
Oh, that was really great. Yeah, and I'd love to show.
Have some of that here? I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have a pedal. I actually have the pedal. I have it on one of my pedals too.
Cool.
I have the
that was dope.
The Bill which one was it? From Aliens.
Yeah.
But it was his role in Apollo 13. Bill Paxton. Yeah.
I liked hearing you guys read what was on the different Pogs and like the references and stuff.
Oh yeah, and that's where that we should do another episode on it, like once we have like a dot cam.
Were those the knockoff Pogs?
I mean, it's hard to say like which Pog is. I think it just comes down to quality.
Not date, not like an older version is a Pog and a newer one just can't be a Pog.
Oh, I think they're all Pogs.
Okay.
It's just
podcast.
That was our podcast. I think we relabeled it.
This is the spin-off podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I really just want. Yeah, I'd love to just have a podcast all about Pogs.
I love that. This is a thing where I was like, man, he's so right. You were talking about like finding things that everybody has in their closet but nobody uses and like repurposing them to make a buzz or some money or whatever. I'm like, oh, that's fucking smart.
It is, and it's
upcycling.
It's the best way. Yeah, it's the best form of recycling. And it's kind of influenced us with stuff that we make or use for art.
Well, some of the
furniture
we make too are all repurposed, like old
furniture. Yeah,
it's beautiful.
Yeah, do you want to move to that?
Yeah,
we can move over to that. Nice transition.
Go ahead.
So I'll hop over there, and I'm just gonna.
Connor's gonna show us
show y'all some
progress on his drawing table.
Yeah, on the drawing table. I keep losing these remotes, and here we go.
Oh yeah, I think it's on the other table we're gonna show.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I think this mic's working pretty well. So I'm excited to show Abel this because I think he saw the table in its infancy. But here we are. How's that? All right. Kind of see me.
Mm-hmm.
It's the table that I'm really going to show. So this is a table that I made out of all old furniture from my dad. Let's see. How's that? Can you see that? Is that view all right?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, cool. Oh, you know what I need though? I am gonna run and get a battery real quick. Kaylee, you want to hit 1 and you guys take over real quick?
I can take the remote too and adjust the camera.
Well, I need the battery.
What is this here? What does this do? This does.
So this is the video switcher.
Oh my god!
So we can switch what they're seeing over there. Yeah,
that's awesome.
We want to incorporate like a dock camera too, so we can have stuff that's just like on the table, and then like get like close-ups of that. Like if when we were doing the Pog thing, like if we had a dock cam, we could have just like
each show your Pog.
See all the Pogs. Yeah,
a dock cam would have been incredible.
Pog cam.
That would have been great. Well, and here you go. Thanks, Kaylee. All right. So, and Taylor, do you mind hitting number 2 on that? There we go. Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll reach from over there, Kaylee, but that should be okay. Yeah, that's cool. All right, great. All right, so here's my table. At first, it's kind of a neat drafting table, but when I'm so ill prepared, I forgot that I don't need. Sorry, everybody.
You are watching the top podcast on YouTube. This is one of the top 5 podcasts about Pogs.
So bad.
No, I'm serious.
Okay. Well, this is the brilliance. This is the brilliance of the table, and why I actually don't need a battery anymore. So there we go. So when I was showing this last week, I was controlling the up and down of the table with a battery. And so now I have it hooked up to the actuator hooked up to a switch. So it actually lowers back down.
Huh.
There we go. And so with this also, you can control the pitch. So if you want it up a little bit, you can like stop it there. If you want it up or down. So you can go up and down fully. It's not just auto up and down, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
And then
so
once
cool.
it's down,
Huh.
it's all done. It's finished. And then I made it so you can unlock these pieces. And kind of flatten it back out. And then it's on wheelies, so you can wheel it around. Yeah, it's not bad.
That looks great.
Yeah, it's looking good. So next up is the art installment piece. Since most of the other, the mechanics of it are pretty well set up, I want to make these side posts like maybe for your feet, so you can put your feet down, get up to it and rest your feet, because that's always a nice thing. And then I spray painted these, and I want to like kind of make like a cool diamond thing in the middle there. I want to paint everything. Yeah, it's going to be also kind of an art piece, but also, you can utilize it for all kinds of stuff. So that's where I'm at with the table. I'm excited to show it when, especially the art pieces are done and it's painted and juiced up. But yeah, all of those pieces are old furniture from my dad's, or old wood from other things that we've built. So yeah, I was thinking of John, or of Abel, when I was when I was building it. Yeah, it's all right. So that's my table. Oh, and right next to it, we were speaking of is a nice chair I built once. Yeah,
You built that?
Yeah, well, it was in real tough shape. So
you rebuilt it?
Yeah, I rebuilt it, and I painted it,
Nice.
and I reupholstered it. Yeah,
Whoa.
so this is actually memory foam.
Okay.
So you slowly sink into it.
My butt foam.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. It's my favorite chair, and it's great for like a guitarist or an artist. It doesn't have the arms, but it's got the back support. Yeah, give it a whirl. Let me know what you think.
I just fall into the thing.
Breaks the chair, breaks the table.
Oh, I feel remembered.
Does it? Yeah, is it starting? And you slowly sink into it as you sit on it. Do you feel that?
Yeah. Still settling.
Yeah. It's really good, and it kind of forces you to sit up straight. You could slouch if you want.
You sit like this, kind of.
If I sit like that, my back hurts for a while. But yeah, and see, it's remembering your butt, but then it forms, and then it unremembers you. Yeah, it's really, really great. It's my favorite chair. Thank you. And Kaylee, do you want to show the this part?
The paint table?
The paint table. So in our show and tell, we're gonna do one more thing we got, and I also put this out because I want to show the gloss that I got for it, and I'll control the camera here.
Oh, is that we didn't do the glass, right?
Not yet. No. I just wanted to show that we will.
Okay. So we've got this table that was it originally it was a camera.
There you go.
It was a coffee table that we had at my dad's house, and it had this big like marble piece on top of it, and it was like super heavy, and the marble piece ended up like breaking, so he was gonna get rid of it. But this is like all cork, just like topping, and the bottom of it has like these really cool like designs on it and stuff, which we still want to like refinish that part.
Yeah, it looked kind of ancient.
Yeah. I don't know if like animals or just like weird like symbols and stuff on it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And then we just took a bunch of pour paints and just like dripped them all over it. And then I think we used like forks and knives and stuff to just like kind of like drag it out. And it really doesn't look like that much different like that's the cool thing about the pour paint too, is like the way it goes on, like once it dries, it kind of like keeps the same like integrity as like when it goes on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it doesn't like blend or like settle as much.
Colors
You know?
don't change.
Because it's so thick.
Because it's so thick, and like whatever the viscosity of it is too, like also like the texture, like this is very like
Yeah, it's beautiful.
textured still, you know, like
So it's like
it doesn't.
you can touch.
Yeah.
Very Starry Night, Van Gogh kind of.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Definitely with like the swirlies and stuff, like.
Yeah, there's depth too.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think there's really nice depth with it.
Yeah, and it's almost just like plasticky, like once it hardens.
Mm.
But it really has like, yeah, I love that it's like very, very textured. Those are always my favorite types of like paintings and stuff to do, you know, and this stuff is like so great for that.
Really is.
Yeah, and then I think we're going to use that gloss to like treat it, and then I don't know what I think we were talking about like spray painting the bottom or just like shining it up.
Yeah, I
like
think if
it or something.
yeah, it looks like, I mean, to me it looks like something from like the fallen city of Atlantis.
Yeah.
These really neat, and that's like cast iron, I think. Those pieces, you can see there's still cobwebs on them. This camera's doing all right.
This camera's great. This is next level.
Yeah, and so yeah, it just looks really, really nice. I'm very satisfied with it. And yeah, so we'll clean that up, and then yeah, maybe paint it. Maybe it'll look really nice, you know, when it's all bronzed up and good to go. But that looks great. That was, and yeah, we want to take care of the bottom too. There's also the integrity of these, so we want to also kind of fix up the bottom, kind of like that chair, like in the other chairs or furniture that we build. We want to make sure they also kind of last.
Yeah.
But lacquer,
Exactly.
lots more paint.
Lacquer away.
Sometimes.
It kind of looks like they're worshiping like a pine cone or something. Do you see this like in the middle? Can you see that?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh yeah.
That is. Oh yeah, that is awesome.
That's weird.
I really, that is really cool. And they're kind of like these weird fish, like
Atlanteans, like you said.
Yeah. I really get that kind of vibe.
Do you think there was an Atlantis?
You know, the more fun I have,
it's fun. It's fun to think that,
it really is. The more fun I have on listening to Graham Hancock and
I like Graham Hancock, and my brother-in-law like made me rethink it. I don't know. There's like skeptics who are like, this guy's a kook, but I love that stuff.
Yeah, I also like I mean, when I was a kid, I was really into, and we've one of our most favorite our top videos was the paranormal video we did.
Okay. Yes.
But as a kid, I loved cryptozoology.
Yeah, I want to talk about cryptozoology.
Oh, we should have. Yeah, we definitely should.
Chupacabra.
Yep. Yeah.
Spring-Heeled Jack. Do you know that one?
I've only heard that.
Have you heard of Spring-Heeled Jack's like a haunted kind of lore. He's not a cryptid. He's like someone who comes and jumps on your roof. He's like a man who can jump really high, and like people out in the middle of nowhere be like, I heard somebody up on my roof last night. It's Spring-Heeled Jack.
Whoa.
And like you can't catch him. You can't necessarily even see him. Right.
The imagery sounds scary too of that.
But that reminds me of a cryptid, like some beast, something you see. How about the one in the Congo that's like a brontosaurus?
I've heard about that, which is
Mimbeke or something.
I remember there's a movie on it in the 90s.
Okay.
Yeah, that came out. That's pretty good.
How fun is that?
I don't know if it's
like Loch Ness. Or
like, exactly. It's very similar to Loch
fun.
Ness and all that. I'm really, so even if there is like Graham Hancock and all this, even if none of this is real and the books are right, you know, and all that, it's still
the standard history is right.
Yeah, it's still like, well, that was a fun story at least.
So fun.
But and they did really good at kind of making it up, or you know, they were just like extremely negligent at their research. Right. Which is also like entertaining.
Wasn't Milton saying something the other day about like you guys were talking about that, and the sea levels did actually used to be
that's the fun stuff.
Yeah, so that could be very.
There were giant floods. There was like earth changes that we just don't know about or just haven't figured out yet. And like, of course,
it ends up us just watching a debate between scientists, right?
Kinda. It's a guess. It's like trying to know what's way out in space. Like we kind of know, we kind of don't. I heard there were these things called dinosaurs that got wiped out by a rock that hit us. So it's like, okay, well, if that's true, then like anything's true. There could have been some other crazy species that was on the planet before them that got wiped out.
Right.
How could there not have been for the amount of time the Earth's been here? It's like, come on.
They're finding also, you know, a neat thing I mentioned with Milton was in the moon, they wonder if old parts of the old Earth,
because they collided, or was part of Earth at one point, right?
So wouldn't it be neat if they're like, I don't know, do an extraction from the moon and find a gear,
right, or a pyramid or something?
Yeah, or like just a form of,
or a pog.
So a pog. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Abel and I are starting a podcast without these guys. Tune in next week. We'll have a separate thing.
Yeah, I'll host it for you guys.
Yeah, these guys will be there too. They're hosting.
Yeah, that'd be great. That's fun stuff. So we should have, and I don't know, and an excuse almost to talk about all of that is, you know, art that comes from, you know, said
sci-fi.
Things. Yeah,
I was waiting for your sci-fi episode. It's coming, I hope.
Yes. So
and the covers you're talking about, like the cool covers.
Yeah. So I don't know if Justin is on and listening or watching, but next
Step
week,
up, Justin. Let's go.
Justin's the we're thinking the guest.
Yeah.
I'll send him the.
That made me think of old Nintendo covers, like the video games. Like the art for the video game was way cooler than
the graphics looked. Yeah,
they were like awesome comic drawings. So you could do a whole episode on like video game covers, not just what was in the game.
That's a great idea, and it was also kind of jip when that happened. Like I
learned today you can't say jip.
Oh, thank you. Then,
and I learned today you can't say grandfathered in. That was an easy.
Whoa,
I didn't even know that one. Like something's grandfathered in, it like is a voting rights kind of reference.
Interesting.
But jip, I said in front of somebody today, and then somebody told me like, you're not supposed to say that. And I was like, oh yeah, I kind of knew that. I just hadn't caught up yet.
Yeah. Oh, that's good to know. You learn something new every day.
Things you guys say on here, it's like you probably shouldn't say that.
We should shut the whole thing now.
Yeah.
Well, it was
where's that hook?
It was
we did that hook.
Yeah. It was a rip. It was a real rip.
It was a real jip. I get what you're saying, jip.
It was a rip. It would show me these great graphics of, you know, like Jurassic Park maybe on a Sega game.
Yeah.
And it looks like the movie and
the actual game.
Yeah, pixels. Like that was actually, and I really didn't have a lot of experience in video games except when I'd go to friends' houses. And so the games were fun, but I was always slightly disappointed because this doesn't look a thing like the cover,
right?
You know,
it couldn't yet.
What are we looking at here?
Yeah.
And then 007 came out. It was a little different, but yeah, no, that'll be really good. Sci-fi covers for books. That'll be fun. So Justin, take some screenshots or some pictures of some of the books you got. I'll do the same.
What if we at one point just had like a round table of people at the podcast?
Oh yeah.
I love that idea.
Like knights, like King Arthur kind, and Merlin comes in. It's like,
ideas.
Yeah.
I remember seeing Sword in the Stone, the cartoon movie. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
And I like before I could kind of know what it was. So like the image of Merlin would be in my head and stuff. I'm like, what was that from?
Wispy beard.
Yeah, and like just spells and
Didn't he become a fish at one point? They like jumped in the water or something.
They did. Yeah.
I barely remember it, but it's like deep in the recesses.
To and fro. That's the way we always go. That's the song they're saying. To and fro.
When is that from? What year is?
60s, maybe.
Is it?
It could be earlier.
I bet 70s. But wow, cool.
Yeah,
that's 50 years old.
Oh yeah, I mean it's phenomenal. Some of the animation and fun movies that still kind of hold up. That would definitely hold up for kids.
Yeah, well, the top
1963.
Wow,
63. Wow.
The top artists were. I show these videos called Silly Symphonies by Disney. Look up Silly Symphonies on YouTube, and the ones you'd know. It's like Three Little Pigs and all different stuff, but it's like set to classical music. It's a 7-8 minute video of just classical music, no talking for the most part, set to these like crazy animations, a story that goes on. And they're from the 30s and they look gorgeous. There's some remastered ones and they're just the best artists in the world, like drawing and animating and coloring and flipping the pages.
Page by page, right?
Page by page by page, painstakingly details, you know?
Was Coco the Clown that video?
That's from Betty Boop. It's like
that's the Betty Boop.
That might even be like late 20s. These are from the 30s and they're mostly colorized.
Oh, neat. Okay,
I showed that Betty Boop to some colleagues of mine, some clients, and it just didn't get it. I was like loving it, and they were kind of like, "This is weird." And I was like, "Yeah, it's really weird." And
For that time, it was.
and it's just haunting. The animation in some of those things is just like it's dreamlike, kind of, you know.
The audio with the video
The
and
audio.
that specifically are
Yeah, and it's
very
real
haunting.
orchestras recording in a room.
Yep.
That's the audio, and
Yep.
somebody actually drawing a beautiful picture. That's the video.
Yeah,
Machines and
it's
digital
really
can't
good.
quite get that like love into the product.
No, that's I mean,
Cartoons are real, where like you can detect CGI in a movie and like, oh, that's fake, but cartoons somehow feel real in a weird way if they're done right.
yeah, I think it's
more
the
organic.
human
It's
element.
more
in the-
organic. It's a
yeah.
hand was drawing
Yep.
that with like actual charcoal, like breaking into the paper,
and then a voice singing,
Mhm.
you know, like directly into this mic, like, you know, I mean, it's that video in particular is there any kind of a weird racial thing with Coco the Clown?
I don't know, and I'm showing it to young people, and I'm thinking like, "Do you getting this?" Like, I don't know. Yeah, you have to be careful with all that, like Jip, and there's stuff you don't even notice. And like, yeah, that is kind of actually like unsettling or like racist.
When you said Jip, I was like, ooh, I don't like the sound of that word,
But that's
and I don't even know why.
That's a cutting edge one. I
know.
think it's
That's
like time to
interesting.
get rid of that. Yeah, I always think JIP. I don't even think Jip, Gypsy, GYP.
Oh, that's what it is. Gypsy.
That's my understanding.
Because gypsy is offensive too. Right?
Because I think gypsy is like a traveling person is kind of offensive in a way. Maybe traveler's not, but gypsy sort of is. I always thought gypped like somebody took something from you, like they jabbed
that's
you.
what I thought it was. Yeah,
But gypsies would steal, I guess is the
yeah, they were excellent.
summation, and so or people say that gypsies would steal, and that's why it's a bad thing.
Yeah, it's tough to tell with that.
I thought this was the Gypsy Cast.
I don't know no, the nomenclature.
Really pulled the plug.
Get that hook. No.
Hanging out the Gypsy Cast. Is
well, you know, it's I have a
It's a great
friend
jingle.
who lived in Czech Republic, and he was pickpocketed by a gypsy, like an
Right.
actual gypsy.
Yep.
And
people, they say.
oh, gee, really?
No.
But yeah. So I don't know. If it's I don't know.
Isn't pickpocketing so cool though? Like I think
It's the coolest thing
people
I've
who
ever seen.
pickpocket is like,
Yeah.
what a cool. I want to be a gypsy if that's what they do.
Yeah.
It's like a sneaky magician that's like kind of on the dark side, but kind of on the light side, like Peter Pan, Robin Hood kind of thing.
I like the Robin Hood aspect
Robin
of
Hood,
it.
I guess, not Peter Pan, yeah.
Well, there is a magic to it. It's neat. It's sleight of hand, and it's a distraction. I think
And
there's
it's
like something
ballsy,
to
and
that.
it's like
if you get
know.
caught with your hand
You're
in
a
someone
pirate.
else's literal pocket, you know, that's wild. I mean, that's intimate too. Someone like went into my pocket. Their hand was in my was right
how
here
slick you have to be.
without you knowing. Yeah. It's
Try to
quick
pickpocket
too.
me. See if you can do it.
I already have.
I already have.
This whole time I'm a gypsy.
I was just watching that Albert Brooks documentary, and I guess he had a bit where he was like the worst pickpocket.
Yeah.
And he was just like, how you doing? You know, and he's like very just like obviously like groping the guy's like arm, trying to
get his
like,
watch
get his
off.
watch
That's
off.
great.
And it's just so elaborately just
That's
like
a good premise.
That is a good premise. That's a simple one too. That's really good. Just a
fumbling.
Apparently he was
pocketer.
like just like huge, like incredibly innovative with like the kind of like out there sort of like more abstract kind of like bits that he would do. And some things like I think at one point they were talking about I can't remember if it was like Johnny Carson or David Letterman, but like he went on and he didn't even rehearse the bit beforehand.
Nice.
He just tested it out
awesome.
like live
Brooks.
on TV.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
it was just like
killer.
That's kind of the cutting edge stuff. And it's like I sometimes want to do in a collaborative art piece, like something, let's do something even further. Let's do a thing where like somebody cuts off their arm. Or let's fake it really well. So everybody thinks they cut off their arm, or somebody pukes, like you've puked multiple times. Like that's great to push that. I want to make someone uncomfortable and then get really comfortable again. Like do a bit that's, or a thing, an act that's like really unsettling, and then come back with like It's a Wonderful Life kind of bit.
That's genius elasticity that you see in some horror movies.
Yeah,
really intense, really
a
intense,
laugh
nice
to a
comfort.
cry to a this to a that.
Scary monster to like a police scene.
It's
or, like,
gallows
a place of
humor
lights.
too. Like it's like someone in a horror movie just going so bananas that they just start laughing, and they're just like, all right, this whole thing must be just chaos, and you don't know where the ground is. It's unsettling.
Yeah,
It's nice though. Because
Yeah.
you're gonna land and the show's gonna end and it's gonna be happy and like you're gonna love that you came, but get weird for a little while, get uncomfortable, get cold, get hot, get this.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a ride.
It's a ride, and like because of
It
people like
is.
you, we can make it a ride. Because how else can you get people that are willing to do this really weird thing? You have to get up there. I'm like hiding behind a piano, looking to the side, kind of. You're up there, like taking it on as a performer, and you're having like purposely doing things that are gonna make people uncomfortable. So you're
I've seen some weird looks.
you're
from
getting this
people.
like hate or this weird vibes from some people, like
Puking.
God bless you for
in the
doing
back.
it.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, you get
The
to like,
reaction is awesome. Though.
yeah, you get to be an actor in like a haunted play or something.
It was those little things too about that show. Like I just overheard someone while I was outside having a smoke. They're like, "Did you see there was a clown in the back just puking?" Like they just thought like the clown was sick and drank too
Right.
much and
That's
just got sick. And then
exactly
and then the other lady's like, "Yeah, but then they were like right back up." So they're like, "Hey, when you gotta just do it," they were just
great.
talking about it
Oh
as
my
if
God, that's great. That's exactly what we
you
wanted.
know, yeah, it was great. But it was in fact like you put a lot of work into. We talked about the props that clowns use into trying to figure out how can I puke and
It's
make
art.
it look
You
somewhat
made puking
realistic.
and art, and like I gotta build it and make it. There's a timing and a temperature to the whole thing.
It
Smell.
was
It's gonna
Yeah.
smell weird too. Like,
And you have to get in a mental space as like an actor, performer. Like, all right, I'm going to do this, and here's how I would do it if I was puking.
believe it or not,
beautiful.
there's beauty. There really is like
Mhm.
beauty to making puke. Yeah, as
Oh my
to
God,
puking.
that's great.
Yeah, it was really nice.
I had like a hallucinogenic experience one time, and I heard a voice telling me, because when I was younger, I'd get sick all the time. I'd puke, and I'd go to school and I'd get nervous and I'd puke and then I'd feel better. I would just kind of like pop kind of thing. And the voice was just saying like, "Hey, if you want to puke, we'll make you puke. Like if you want to puke, you have the ability to get so worked up, you'll puke." But like the converse kind of being like, if you want to relax, we'll let you relax. Like this voice was just telling me deep in here.
Wow.
And it helped me with that in some ways. I could use a little more of that, but that's my puke experience.
The hallucinogenics helped you come to terms with that?
Yeah, I think I just went to a place where I was like, whoa, I'm going really inward and having like a spiritual moment. And this voice from like, hey, remember when you were a kid and you used to get sick all the time? Like you were kind of doing that to yourself. Like if up here, we're like, we'll give you whatever you want. If you want to be in paradise, you're in paradise. If you want to be in like a hell, you'll be in a hell. If you want to feel like, it's like when someone sees someone puke, that's what we're going for, right? If the audience members see you puke, some of them are going to like, which is all up here. And I was getting it from a nervous anxiety kind of piece, but like it's a mental, it's great.
Definitely. I used to get that with like shaking, like when I would get really nervous.
There's a pitcher who sucks, then pukes on the mound, and his lights out. Yeah, exactly. Don't they all? They probably all do backstage or in the dugout or whatever.
I would get and I think that nervousness is almost paralyzing. Especially if it has to do with performance or stage,
all of it's paralyzing.
It's paralyzing, and even if take stage and performance out of it, I'd be a kid. I'd be terrified to go into school. I'd have like these butterflies, and
every day.
Yeah, and that sucks. Yeah. That really is tough. But yeah, the butterfly before I'd go into work, I'd have butterflies because it sucked. It was just not.
My mom would make me signs, and I'd come home like in nursery school, first grade, like you made it through the day.
Nice.
She'd have to come pick me
cute.
up.
That's really great.
She'd have to come pick me up so many days because I'd like make it like a couple hours and just didn't separation anxiety or like being out of my comfort zone. Whatever it was. I'm too young. I was too young to even know probably what it was, but I think that's kind of common.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I would.
People express it in different ways.
Yeah, and and we don't really talk about it, so everybody just kind of deals. I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom. Like, I'm freaking out. Why am I here? How many more hours do I have in this place where I can like go home and like relax and take off my socks or just like be a kid?
Yeah. I had a friend who would get sick if you sat on his bed because he just made his bed.
Yeah.
And so he'd be like, "Don't sit on that bed."
I have that.
And I was like, and that was the first time I'd ever like seen it, but it was serious. It was
totally.
There was
it's OCD.
Yeah, there's something there, but he'd get those butterflies real easy, and he'd say, "Oh,
I don't have it with the bed, but I have it with other things.
It's a thing. But
if you see blood and like it makes you puke or pass out, or if somebody takes your blood and you pass out, that's like a OCD for that real specific thing.
I get
like,
that.
I probably have it more general. Like some people have it general, like that's a real specific one.
And I don't, that's one I don't understand, because I can watch that. I can like, and consciously right now, I'm looking at someone draw my blood. I'm fine with it.
But when it happens to you,
well, something back here is like, you're gonna pass
You're
out
gonna
in just
die.
a couple of seconds,
right.
and it's
And you do.
I
If
get
you-
lightheaded.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
we'll make you
here
pass
we
out
go.
if you want to pass out.
Yeah.
Like that voice in your head will give you whatever you want.
It's weird though. Consciously, I'm like, I have no problem with this. I am looking at this. I don't have a, and then it's just I'm out. It really is.
Cut my hand. Let's see Connor like just go out right
Oh well,
now.
there's a show that was on that was excellent. I forget the name of it. The Nick,
Yeah.
and it was a excellent show about a period piece about the Knickerbocker Hotel when it first opened. Beautiful show, but it was extremely gory and graphic because it's like showing the medical procedures that are experimental at that point. So it would really get in, and my father and I loved watching it. And every now and then he'd turn around and I'd be drooling and just passed out because
it was so convincing.
Yeah, but also I was like upset because I'm watching. I'm like, I'm fine with this. I'm fine with this. And it's a blood drop. My blood pressure.
But I bet that's from somewhere deep. You're smart enough to know that, like, hey, when blood comes out, that's bad. You could die.
Yeah,
it's this fight or flight, freeze kind of thing.
It's too bad.
You overthink to the point of like you just shut off.
Yeah, right. I don't know.
And like if you got hit hard in the jaw, eventually you would just shut off.
There's a knockout, right?
Measure.
Yeah. In quicker situations, if I see it and my adrenaline's going, I don't feel it at all.
Yep.
But if I'm just chilling, sitting, watching some blood pour,
amazing.
Just go. But yeah, it's a wild thing.
It is wild.
It really is.
Went to a show one time and we were standing outside and it was kind of hot and we're just standing still and everyone's standing for hours. You're not really drinking a lot. Maybe you're a little dehydrated. And a friend of mine just said, I start seeing spots. I see like black circles. I'm like, what are you talking about? And we're all just packed like sardines waiting for the band to start. And he just passed out.
Yeah.
And he had like the unaccompanied migraine, they call it. And so it's a way your brain just sort of shuts off. Your vision gets black. They picked him up and they like the paramedics took him to the front of the stage, like over the barrier. Oh, sorry. And this is my first podcast. They took him and they gave him water and he came back like halfway through the band set. They're like, oh my God, you made it back. And he's like, yeah. And then sure enough, a couple songs in, he's like, I'm not seeing the same anymore. And he went down again and they took him and he just didn't come back.
Yeah. And
my girlfriend at the time it happened. So we're all waiting for the band. There's like a few of us in a circle doing what we're doing before a show. He goes down, then he comes back and he goes down again. Then my girlfriend goes down, and it was like the three of us. And I think, what did we just do together?
Yeah,
it's gonna hit me and I'm gonna die.
Yeah. Dropping like flies one by one.
Great. Yeah, we were dropping like flies. Exactly.
That'll happen. I've had that a few times at shows. We went to New York once. I think
it's similar. It's an overload. Of what's going on.
It was the day I drove up in the car. We saw our friend. We took in the city. We went to a show, and it was just amazing. And I popped. I couldn't take it. And I think it has to do with heat, oxygen levels, maybe, because as soon as they got me near a door, I looked less ghostly, and started to come to. But it's an interesting thing that stuff, that passing out and all that.
It's like his thing. I forget his name. Yeah, Abel, I bet there's a lot of them. I was talking to I have a student teacher at school, and I'm talking about like performance anxiety and being a musician and being on stage, and like it's not normal to perform. Like to even do what you guys are doing here, it's not normal to sit in front of people. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not normal. It's like it takes a certain skill and a certain weirdo to be able to do it. I think most people, if they got on stage or got on a pitcher's mound or had to put on a show like Abel does and like even sell your artwork as a show, like most people would have panic attacks doing that and puke.
It'd be heavy.
It'd be heavy. Most people are like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to talk at the meeting. I'm not going to talk at work. They just go behind the scenes. They don't talk.
Public speaking is one of people's biggest fears.
Yeah,
it
is.
Remember, like in class,
I still get terrified talking in front of my colleagues and stuff. You just kind of do it. You become desensitized. But yeah,
it can
on
be
stage.
Tough.
Going to school is like being on stage because you're just on stage with all these other players and the act and the teacher and the this and that. Yeah, that can be terrifying.
It's interesting. You sometimes see artists who are more shy in person.
Yeah.
But when you see them on stage, it's like I love seeing the other side, that side that's on the inside of them and where they live. They love to live.
You're right. That's probably them, and they only come out. It's like a werewolf, only coming out once in a while, once a month.
And when it comes out, it's beautiful. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
And then there's some who are always like that, and they're always in that, which is really nice too. It's tough to find a balance, I'm sure.
It is. I mean, you look at Robin Williams, who was like always on, but like supposedly when he was alone or like with his family or home, it was tough. He was like a tough guy to be around, or having like the antithesis of the being on. He's off. He's having a tough time holding it together. I can relate to that.
There's a burnout, I'm sure. You know,
there was a burnout, and yeah, you only have so much to give, sort of thing. Yeah.
It was energy in all of it too. Depletions and all of that of energy. We talk about time being difficult to find, but whenever I do sometimes find the time, do I have the energy then? You know, after whatever, after anything,
work and the commute and the this and that.
Oh, everything. Everything. It's not easy, but you know, that's why you depend on little shows like this to tap into every now and then, and maybe get some inspiration or just think of something different. Yeah.
I sing that shit a lot, and I used to not love the last note you sing.
I know you're saying. Yeah.
And I was like, man, it works, but it doesn't quite sound like the note I want to sing. But now I love it, and I sing along with it, and I sing my own note at the end, and you're singing like the third.
Oh, you harmonize with me? I love it.
Yeah.
That's
Once
good.
I hear it, I can like sing it back. I have to hear it again. At the end, I'll hear it, and
yeah, it's
spilling the beans, but you go spilling the beans.
Yeah. I really love those types of endings.
It's like spilling the beans. I want it to resolve, but it's good. It's catchy. It's a true jingle where it's catchy. I don't even know if it's like good for music as a whole or good for the world, but boy, you've sucked me in with these notes.
Yeah, well, I think the way I look at it is
it's heresy in music.
You have to kind of be another character when you're doing something like that. So I get like really silly,
and you're free,
kind of flamboyant. Yeah. And I'm alone here.
Yeah, that'll get you beans.
Yeah, and you got to get kind of bouncy, and I always end my jingles with like a high note. I try to Apu does that.
Smart.
In
Smart.
The Simpsons.
It works.
I do. You know,
right.
He always does that.
Broadway kind of.
Yeah.
You're almost demanding an applause. Like
exactly.
Yes,
and it's
yes,
like
yes.
it's an overly confident, like a satire to the overly confident at the end. Like, and I want it to extend really long. In other ones, I've had like beans would be like 30 seconds until I run out of breath, and I'll do several takes.
That's another way to cue like time to clap. When
it
holds out a long note or slows down.
I love that. Yeah. And what if you have one that just doesn't end? Yeah.
Yeah.
The sustain just continues for, imagine Pavarotti like holding a high C, but it's like a high C to the point where people like,
There's a great Bugs Bunny where he's the conductor and he makes this guy sing a high note till the guy like passes out.
Oh,
and the whole Coliseum crumbles.
That's great.
It's great. But he's doing that same bit.
Oh, good.
Probably from the 30s.
Yeah,
that was like 100-year-old cartoon Bugs Bunny.
Yep. Orchestra heavy too.
I'm doing starting next week. Abel and I are doing a Bugs Bunny podcast.
Oh,
tune
excellent.
In
a Bugs Bunny podcast.
Tune in. Looney Tunes. Before Bugs Bunny, there was Max Hare. Whoa. That's one of these 30s cartoons. They had Max Hare. He races. It's the tortoise and the hare.
Oh yeah.
There's a famous cartoon that is so good, and the tortoise is Toby, and the bunny is Max Hare. But you'd swear he's like a brown furred Bugs Bunny instead of gray, he's brown.
Whoa. Same
kind of attitude. He's almost a little meaner than Bugs, but he's got that same "What's up, Doc" attitude. No carrot, no "What's up, Doc" slogan, but he's a swagger of Bugs Bunny. That guy became Bugs.
He's a trickster. He's got kind of like
a trickster. He's sort of the bad guy in it, and he tries to beat the turtle, but the turtle wins slow and steady, wins the race.
I remember that.
He's a showboat.
From when I was a kid, I think I remember watching that.
Those cartoons
specific
are amazing.
One. They're timeless.
They're timeless. Once in a while, there's something like a jip or something
a
like
bit
that.
Racist.
That's a little racist.
Like
that needs to go. But for the most part, they're wholesome. Yeah.
It's good stuff. Really good. How are we looking at time?
Whoa. Hour 9 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome.
My God.
That's really good.
We'll see you next week.
Do you want to do a blog? Your blog?
Hell yeah.
Read from your blog? So last week or the last podcast we had, Kaylee started reading from her. Oh, it's okay. Started reading from our her website, breadsandscircus.org.
It's a space website.
The space website, and within it she does blogs, weekly blogs. Are they weekly?
I try to do it weekly.
Yeah,
but I don't always.
Yeah, so sometimes more, sometimes less. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so Taylor's going to play a little piano in the background.
You should pull the.
While I'll bring the mic over there. While Kaylee recites her blog post.
And it's if you want to check out the website, it's breadsandscircus.org. And it's available on the internet. Oh my goodness gracious.
Sorry, everyone. Oh, you don't have to mic this. No way. Oh, yeah, plenty of that. Just figured I'd put it in the area.
All right. There's a place you can go to feel home away from, at first glance, overstimulation but warmth. It seeps in to comfort your skin, pulls at that which is within, and globs it on your sleeve, like a really good sneeze. At ease. It's here to revere your you-ness, whatever that is. A kaleidoscopic mirror that's shifting and changing for whichever shape you're in, it's here. And maybe that's some of all we need, is a place to just be that cultivates creativity in every capacity. Space. What a beautiful thing to take time, to make time, and all the possibilities. And that's it.
You.
That was nice. I like the piano accompaniment.
Beautiful words. Beautiful, beautiful music.
You're working on too.
Yeah, no, that's enough. That's enough.
Okay.
Tune into the podcast for that.
Yeah, this was a great one. I really enjoyed it. And Abel says that was rad. We do miss you, Abel, but we're trying to
keeping the seat warm for you, Abel.
Yeah.
It's here. It's not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That was really great. And that sounded really nice. And that blog was beautiful too.
I heard you guys puke every time right before.
Yeah, we tried to.
Yeah, Kaylee, nice work. That's good.
Wonderful.
Yeah, you too. Very good.
Well, from Taylor, Connor, and Kaylee, and Abel.
See you, kids. That's Abel's. I love that catchphrase too. Like, see you, kids. I look forward to Abel.
Yeah, he does say see you, kids.
Usually in the tub listening to you, Abel. I'm like, I have a few moments to myself, like the kids in bed, and I'm listening to you guys. I'm loving that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, John. Hey, Abel. Thanks, Abel.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Oh, I gotta unmute you, kids.
Oh,
Sorry.
Hanging out.
Hanging out, just another night of the week. Or to be more specific, it's a Tuesday Eve. Got some ideas that just might intrigue. You should come on by tonight. We're spilling the beans.
Cool night. Yeah.
That's great.
Cool. I hope I did it right.
You did
Awesome.
great. Oh.
Too much talking.
No.